If you are a senior consultant at McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, and you are preparing for your manager promotion soon, this is video for you, okay? So I know this promotion is very important for you. It's a big prize, and especially if you're a lateral hire, you worked for this moment for a long time. You probably completed a costly MBA. You went through this grueling recruiting process to get into your firm. You work for 1 or 2 years to survive in your firm. That not a small thing. And now you are preparing for this big jump to actually get a promotion to a manager, to EM. And that's by itself is not a simple step. It's actually, you probably already know, that's a very difficult promotion to make. And then in this video, I'm discussing actually what are the typical mistakes consultants make trying to prepare for that promotion and why they're actually not making it, and what you can do to improve your chances to get your promotion to EM. And by the way, before we go any further, whatever I discussed today, I have a very detailed guide on how to get your EM promotion. So please download it, read it. It's a bit more detailed than what we discussed today. I think the important thing there is I also break down timeline, what needs to happen by what time for you to actually get the EM promotion. So the link is in the description, so please download and use it. So let's discuss how promotions happen and how to prepare to promotions and what typical mistakes happen, right? So I think most consultants prepare to that promotion in the wrong way. Or let me even say they don't prepare, okay? So they work like business as usual. They just work hard, and then they hope it will work out at the end, okay? And then I call it hope management, right? So maybe I will get a good project, maybe it will be okay, maybe I will work with good partners and managers, and maybe they will promote me, okay? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it works for many people, and many people become managers, and I became manager in this way, but sometimes it doesn't work out, right? Some people don't make it and leave it early, and then they usually, you read it on LinkedIn, something like, after 2 fulfilling years at McKinsey or BCG, now I move on to my next career opportunity. Then when you read this statement after 2 years or after 1 year, after 2.5 years, then you know that people actually didn't make it to EM, right? So it's actually a sad story. And often in that phase, which is transition phase, it's quite a vulnerable moment, and the time compresses because now suddenly in a few months you need to accomplish a lot. A lot of consultants focus on wrong things in that moment, not on the right things. And they focus on, doing some different industries, expanding their exposure to new projects, new partners, optimizing for wrong things, learning wrong skills or not learning right skills, right? So this is a very kind of important moment, and you cannot waste it on focusing on the wrong things. And then if we discuss what are the right things to focus on, I think for me these are 2 main factors that should be in place for you actually to be promoted in, let's say, 6 to 12 months. And they come down to 2 things. One is your performance, and second one is your partner trust, okay, or sponsorship sometimes we call it. And then if we discuss performance is the primary factor. And then it should be not an average performance, but it should be higher performance or above average performance, because that's what will require for you to stand out and actually get promoted. A bit later, I discuss why specifically that affects the promotion. And the second one is you need to have a group of partners who will actually vouch for you, advocate for you for the promotion, because without the sponsorship, your promotion will not happen. You will work hard, you will be helpful, you will be useful for some people, but then when time comes, it doesn't happen, right? Unfortunately. So we don't want for this to happen. And then if you think about it, they actually interconnected, these 2 things. For you to get partner support or partner sponsorship, you need to have higher performance. And then that's actually how you win over partners, and then that's how they start being more invested in your career growth. And let me expand specifically on performance and the level of performance, right? Why it's important. So if we talk specifically at McKinsey, for example, and I think in BCG and Bain, it's a little bit different, but principles are the same. If you want to be promoted to an EM, you need to serve as a junior EM for at least 2 projects, 2-3 projects sometimes. And what practically is actually happens is decisions are made on the staffing level. So for you, let's say you're an associate, you need to find a GM, EM opportunity for you to work on. Now imagine a partner making that decision, right? So a partner starts a new project, it's a precious project for them. It's an important one. They worked really hard to sell it, to work on it, to get it, and then they probably have 2-3 projects going on. So every single project is important for their career, and then now they need to give it this precious project to someone to manage. Okay, and then partner have a decision to make. Do I give this project to a senior associate, or do I give this project to manage to a senior established EM? Okay, who already worked as an EM and knows how to work that way, this way. So if you look at this, like this equation or this kind of choice is not in your favor if you're a senior associate, because of course, like the if you think about cost, the cost is marginal, so it's not non-factor for partner, because for the partner, the success of the project is more important than cost at the time. So you are competing in that time with established EMs, okay? And then how you can ask how a senior consultant can compete with established EMs? That's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair. And the way senior consultants win is if their performance is very high. And then also at the same time, partners know them very well and trust them already. And then in that time, this kind of equation changes, because now partners say, okay, I know this associate. He's actually great. I trust that associate. He or she works really well. On my last project, they've done amazing work, right? I can trust them. I think they can do it. And then I have a bunch of EMs that I don't know. Yes, they're EMs. They were promoted, but I don't know them. Maybe they are not great. And then so now it a little bit equalizes that the choice, right? So that's what you want. So you want some kind of equalizer in the moment when the staffing decisions are made, and that the performance and trust. This is what will be helping you. Okay. And then if you think about it, in the essence, your promotion decision happens not in the committee. It happens way before, when the staffing decisions are made. Because if you're not given opportunity to work on on a project as an EM, then you cannot demonstrate your EM skills, and then time will run out. You will run out of runway, and then you will not get the result that you want, right? And then you will write a message to LinkedIn that you're leaving after 2 fulfilling, exciting years at McKinsey. Okay, so and then the next obvious question, consultant asks, okay, how do I get that? Like, how do I get to the level of performance that it actually excites partners and excites them to staff me, right? It's a very valid question. The biggest misconception at this level that consultants have is that, let's say you're a senior consultant, and then you already worked for 1 or 2 years at this job, so you pretty much know what needs to be done, and then you're becoming a little bit more comfortable with consulting work, and et cetera, and then when they get told that you need to start preparing for your EM promotion, your EM job, people start thinking, okay, what is EMing is? What does it mean? And then they most of the time they interpret this in a way that, okay, I need to become like my EM, like I observe, and then what they actually observe is EM managing things, right? But that's what they see, and then they assume that, okay, I need to become a super manager, so I need to learn management skills, project management skills, to become a great EM, and that's what I need to demonstrate, right? So they start focusing on things like creating work plans, scheduling meetings, managing things, running check-ins, and all of these process things, okay? Because that's what eventually they think that EMing is. And that's a big misconception, because in essence, that's not what EMing is. In essence, EMing is deeper level of problem solving, more versatile, more capable problem solving that is required for you to be a great EM. And the best concept that I want you to remember is, I want you to think of it as you need to be a chief problem solver on the ground, okay? So the most important problem solver on the ground, because your partners will be always somewhere, disconnected, fragmented, hands off. Your team will be not capable in most of the time, and you are basically the only adult in that room to actually drive the project in the right way. So your problem solving needs to be on a different level than what you currently have. Even if you are currently comfortable with your level of problem solving, that under pressure of partners, and then under pressure of managing 3-5 work streams at the same time, whatever gaps that you accumulate in that time, it will start cracking, right? And then that's where it will be decisive whether you make it or not, if you can manage that problem-solving element of that in the best way, not process, okay? So I think the best way to think about process is hygiene. And the best way to think about it is it's like oxygen. If you have it, nobody notices it. If you don't have it, in 30 seconds, everyone starts noticing it, okay? So the same is with process. If you have perfect process, okay, great, well done. But it's not differentiator. It's not impressive. It's just, yeah, that's what you have to do. But then if you have poor process, then people will start complaining, right? So that means that as a future EM, you need to manage process in a hygiene level so that you don't drop any balls. You don't kind of make big mistakes. But then you're trying to perfect that and become the best process manager in the world. You will not make you promoted. So you are not investing in the right place. So the right investment is into problem solving. So let's make a short recap, right? Where we are now. So what we discussed, it for you to make an EM, you need performance and partner trust, right? For you to get high performance, you need high level of problem solving, not process. And then again, the next logical question is, how do I improve my problem solving to the level of EM? So that's a very good question, because at that level, when you are senior EM, you're already plateauing in your development. Okay, so you learned everything you could learn. You got feedback from everyone you could get. You tried something that you tried everything that you could try, right? And then at that time, it's like your development starts slowing down. And then very often people actually make this incorrect conclusion that, okay, I learned problem solving. I think my problem solving is fine. Now I need to learn something else, whatever it is. They define new horizons and new areas to focus on: communication, presence, political proneness, whatever people decide their problem is, and they start focusing on something else, abandoning problem solving as a development area. Okay, that's a big mistake, because I think what people don't realize at that time, problem solving has layers and levels, and then they just stopped on the first level. Now, yes, at that level it's fine, but then how to get to the next level, that's where it gets tricky, right? And then and that's where the coaching is actually helpful, because a person who went through this journey, like me, right, EM and AP, who worked as an EM and AP, actually can show you what are the next steps and how to get there, right? And I will give you just one example how it happens. For example, in my coaching program, I ask consultants to complete exercises, right? Like realistic scenarios when they actually need to solve real problem and make real slides, and then I provide feedback to them. Okay, and then what happens in this situation? They produce some outputs, and then let's say they produce a certain level of outputs, and I say, look, I don't know, Maria, your level is not bad. Let's say it's 7 out of 10. It's even slightly above average, right? But then I will say, look what 10 out of 10 looks like, right? Because all the people, now I have 91 people in my program, everyone goes through the same journey. I have this privilege of calibrating people and then actually have like layers and levels and show it to you what actually great looks like, right? That's what you don't get at your firm, because every feedback you get is incremental to your position. So you can be like on level number 7, but you never actually even see 8, 9, 10, and maybe we'll never see it, right? But then in my program, I actually can tell you, hey, look, this is what actually impressive looks like. Now let's discuss how to close that gap. And actually closing that gap is often quite technical. There are certain techniques and certain practices that you can use to close that gap that it's not rocket science. And what I usually see in the program, MBB consultants, especially senior consultants, they're very smart. If they clearly told what to do, is clearly given the kind of the goal, end state, they can do it, no problem. They can do it. But the problem that they currently experience is that they don't know where they need to go. And then if you don't know where you need to go, then of course that becomes difficult. Okay, so that's just one example how I help consultants to get from, let's say, average, above average performance problem solving to higher level of problem solving. And then what happens is that once you start, there is an inflection point. Once you start growing, and then there is almost like a switch. It's almost overnight. Suddenly now everything you do, people like it. Your partners like it. Oh wow, this is amazing. This is great. This is so very cool. Thank you so much. They become appreciative. They like what you do. They enjoy your work. They start kind of by extension liking you. They want to become your friends. They want to staff you. They want to invite you in their CSTs, in their pyramids. And then that's when it all changes for you in terms of work. And guess what? It's very enjoyable to work in that environment. It's great. It's great to work when everyone likes you. People respect you. People listen to you. They follow your advice. I mean, what's not to like, right? So, but getting there is just there's certain things you need to do to get there, right? And then once you've achieved that state, when your work impresses people on a consistent basis, promotion happens on its own. You don't have to worry about it, because when partners actually actively trying to support you, to kind of retain you, to work with them, they will promote you. They will do the necessary step. They will make the calls. They will kind of invest their political capital into that. So that's how you achieve promotion. So ideally, what you want is to achieve promotion not on technicalities, like not checking all the boxes, right, and barely making that cut. You want completely kind of run through that barrier and then just not even noticing. That's what you want. That's how you want to feel in the moment. So you want your promotion to happen automatically with overwhelming positive story. Okay, not like barely making it and then making EM and still feel uncomfortable, then struggling as an EM. That's nobody needs that. Believe me, you don't want to be a struggling EM. That's even worse than being struggling consultant. Okay, that's what I'm coaching people in my program, and then read my guide for EMs, for how to make an EM. So if you want to learn more about how mechanics of problem solving works, how do we improve, and what are the layers of problem solving, I have a video recorded back a few months ago that you can also watch it. Hopefully it will appear here, somewhere here. Click that and watch it again. And then if you want to talk about your specific case, happy to jump on a call. So book free consultation call with me and let's chat. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck.